Welcome to Fantastic Fiber Friday the 13th. Yes, folks, today is Friday the 13th. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in and talk about the fiber of the week. It was Montadale. And I did show some pictures of my Montadale fleece on Wednesday. And I decided to try to prepare it two ways, just to see which way would be the best way to prepare it. I corded up some Rolex on my hand carders, and I also did some top where I combed it out with my wool combs, just a small amount. I kind of like how the top came out better. It was actually long enough to comb on my fine combs, and when I was spinning it I liked it a lot better. So here's each for the spinning. This was off the Rolex, and it spun pretty nice. The carders seem to make it, kind of tear it up a little bit and make it a little bit lumpy and bumpy, and that's why I like the combing a little bit better, because it took out any short bits. The comb spun up a lot smoother, and even though it had only like a maybe 3-inch staple, I think, I was able to spin a more even yarn with this, and I like the way it turned out a lot better. Beautiful. I think I'll be combing the rest of this fleece. I have about 10 ounces of it. But if you want to learn more about Montadale sheep, you can check out Monday and Wednesday's blog. Now, everybody knows the Tour de Fleece has been going on in Ravelry. Everybody's been talking about the Tour de Fleece fibers, and I've really not had a whole lot of time to spin because I spent most of my week over at my friend's house. She's a real estate agent in this area, and her partner's been out for 3 weeks, and she was just completely bogged down, so she called me and asked me basically to help be her secretary. But this is what I've been able to finish. This is actually the colorway you see right here behind me. I had 2 of these braids, and I started spinning one up, and I like it better spun than on the braid, to be honest with you. But it turned out really, really nice. I can't wait to spin up all 8 ounces of it and figure out what I want to make with it. I think I may make this only a 2-ply, but I really like the way the colors came together in the spinning. Now, I have been asked, because I've heard there's some of you out there who don't understand how to use stitch markers, so I'm going to do a stitch marker demonstration for you. Here I have started a washcloth, and it's just pretty simple washcloth. I've got a little edge over here I'm doing in garter stitch for about the first 4 stitches, and I put a marker there. And what happens is that you slide the marker, I'm going to try and show you, as you knit across. I'm going to put the marker on the back side just so you can see me knit. I'm just going to go ahead and knit like the first 4 or 5 stitches and slide it so you can watch me do that. It just gets slid like if you were sliding a stitch over instead of knitting it from one needle to the other. And you just slide it on over, and it marks your spot. For me, it's marking the spot where I'm doing the 4 stitches of garter stitch, because in the front here I have stockinette going after the first 4 stitches, kind of giving the washcloth a little bit of a border. Another way you can use the stitch markers is in the middle here. You probably see this little wrinkle here, probably can't quite tell what it is. I put a little 2x2 cable there, and you can actually place a stitch marker over between those stitches where you have the cable as well. And this is another way that stitch markers can be used. So I'm going to knit my way over to the middle where I have that cable, and I'm going to place a stitch marker. Hopefully I can knit quick enough that you won't all get bored. I gotta knit like, I think it's 17 stitches over. Come on, give me some more yarn. There we go. Okay, almost there. Let's see, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16. Okay, it's 17. It was 17. And then you basically just take your marker and slide it over the needle. And I'm going to knit 4 more stitches because it was a 2x2 cable. And place another one. I'll knit a couple stitches after that. So you can see how you can mark your knitting for different places where you want to do different things. It's like here on the end where I'm creating a little border for my washcloth, and in the middle where I'm just making a small little cable. There are many types of stitch markers though, and I'm going to show you some of those real quick. I have quite a few different types. I have these basic loop ones that my friend Wendy makes. And then I had found this little kit, and I thought this was the cutest thing in the world when I found it. It's like one of those little coin purses, and you open it up, and there was a bunch of different little circular stitch markers in there. And they had different things written on them, like you could place them where you need, like this one for instance says slip, so you can place it right before where you need to slip a stitch. And some of them say knit and purl, and they have little different sayings on them. Knit 2 together, that would remind you where you need to knit 2 together. And I thought they were really cute, and it was a neat little set, and even came with this cute little sock to go ahead and put your coin purse in. But I found that at a local yarn shop down in Pennsylvania when I was there, but different yarn shops will carry different types of stitch markers. Some other ones I'm going to show you, I have what they call the split ring markers, and these are good for knitting or crochet. You just place them wherever you need to, and then you can use them on the rings, but also you can place them wherever you need to in the knitting. Like if you want to measure, if you're increasing something and you want to measure how far you want to increase, you can place that at the beginning of your increases, and it'll stay there, and it just slides right out after you're done knitting. And these are great for crochet if you need to mark certain areas of your crochet. Another take on this is also a marker. It looks kind of like a safety pin. These little markers like this, and you can place these anywhere in your knitting, or you can use them over your needles. But these are kind of neat because you can just place them anywhere. You need to make sure that you remember something. And those are some of the different types. I also have some beautiful handmade ones that have been made for me over my years of knitting. I think I'm going to use this to show them because they're quite pretty. And these are more bent wire stitch markers. And then we've got the ones with little findings. Of course, the ones that we sell here at the Fiber of My Bean, which I like these because they accommodate a lot of different sizes of needles, from the very largest to the very smallest. You have your little ring markers. Oops, let me grab that. Your split ring markers. And did I grab one of those out? I don't know where it went. Okay, I can get this together. Oof. There we go. And your markers that look like safety pins. But those are all, there's a lot of other types too on the market. I have found just some plain little rubber rings that are really good for socks and stuff like that, because they don't take up a lot of space. And those are very nice too. Just very simple. You can go from very simple to very elaborate, like some of the other ones I have shown on the blog that look like complete jewelry for your knitting. So that is how you use your stitch markers. Another thing that does bring up, because they're very closely related, is stitch holders. Now these are for when you need to stop knitting in an area and pick it up later, like for sleeves of a sweater or something like that. And what you'll do is you'll take your stitches and slide them onto here and lock it up, and it'll hold the stitches for you so that they won't come out. And that way, when you're finished with, say, the body of your sweater and you're ready to go to put on the sleeves, your live stitches are there ready and waiting for you. Here's another take on a stitch holder, which I actually like this one a lot. It holds a lot of stitches, and it looks like a knitting needle with a thing on two ends just to hold the stitches on there for you. But those are a couple little gadgets that we use in knitting and crochet to help us mark things, remember things, and to hold stitches until we need to use them. I am planning on doing something a little bit different. I realized when I was cleaning my fiber studio that the blog fibers, the fibers that I talk about every week in the blog, were building up. In fact, I have 2 bins full. I decided I needed to do something with these fibers, so I think I'm going to create a new item called blog fiber bats. And these bats will be made with fibers from the weekly blogs. And I was thinking, you know, maybe I'd do a giveaway of them every now and then, or a contest, something like that with them. But I definitely need to do something with these fibers because they are building up, and I'm not spinning them. I have way too much other things to do to be able to have time to spin all of them up, because I usually just spin my samples like this. And when I'm finished spinning my sample, I go ahead and I'll put it on a toilet paper roll, mark it, so that I have a record of everything that I have tried and spun. So the 10 ounces of the Montadale that's left over, I actually kind of like the Montadale. I may keep that, but some of the other blog fibers that are building up, I'm going to start throwing them into bats, and I'll just call them blog bats and have listed on the label whatever's in it. So if you're interested, keep watching for those, because I'm going to start putting those in the store really soon. And that is all we got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed the demonstration of how to use stitch markers, and I will see you next week. Quick little postscript. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be looking at the different gadgets we have for knitting and crochet, and I'll be showing you how to use them. Next week, I'm going to show you how to use different types of counters, from the bracelet counters to the regular click counters, and apps that are available on your iPhone or your Android phone for counting rows and counting repeats. So I will see you then. I hope you enjoy that.